I'm Dekila Chungyalpa. I'm originally from Sikkim in the Eastern Himalayas. It's this tiny, tiny place that's wedged between Nepal and Bhutan, for those of you who know the region. And I grew up there. I am the daughter of a Tibetan Buddhist nun and teacher, and I grew up in a really remote, wild part of Sikkim for many years of my childhood. And then because I was good in science, my family sent me out and I came to the US, and the place I was brought to was New York City. So I often joke that that's how I found out I'm an environmentalist. Was I arrived in New York and saw all the buildings and immediately was like, oh, I'm an environmentalist because I need nature to be happy and to thrive. But I was also raised in this way where meditation was a really big part of our lives and just very naturally part of our lives. And it was always in the context of spiritual practice and spiritual tradition. So like many people who are people of faith, when I entered, the professional world, it was something I suppressed a lot. I almost felt shame about thinking of myself as a person of faith. It was more important that I presented myself as a scientist. So I like to joke that I used to be, an environmental scientist by day and a practicing Buddhist by night. It was like I just created this bifurcation. But for those of you who don't know what I do, I began working with faith leaders in 2008. So it's been 15 years. And it was something that I did because I was asked by the head of my lineage, which is the Karma-Kagyu lineage of Tibetan Buddhism. I was asked by His Holiness the Karmapa to create environmental guidelines for Buddhist monasteries and nunneries. And of course I said yes, because, I thought my next lifetime is secure, right, as a Buddhist. But also, I said yes because it was the first time I had thought of religions as a stakeholder group. It was the first time I'd even considered people of faith as an important influencing institution, right? What I didn't expect was up to that point, I'd been experiencing these symptoms that we now know are eco-anxiety and climate distress. I've been having really terrible experiences with that. I worked for the Panda. I worked for WWF for 14 years. And while I was doing field work, I'd started experiencing what we now know are trauma symptoms. This having nightmares around climate futures in particular, and what that meant for people and for wildlife and landscapes that I loved. And somehow doing this work with faith leaders actually started healing me because I was applying meditation techniques to address these emotions that were rising, and because I was acknowledging these emotions. So I say all of this to explain why I do meditations and feel that don't think of myself as a meditation teacher. I think of myself as an environmentalist that has experienced, a lot of trauma around environmental and climate issues, and found that there is something in all wisdom traditions that actually allows us to heal these emotions, right? Allows us to build resilience, allows us to fill up our courage tanks in a sense, because that is really the emotion that most of us are struggling with on a day-to-day basis. So that is the background of why Peter invited me and why I'm here. And I think where I'd like to start is by asking you what emotion rises to the top for you when you think about environmental and climate issues? How are you doing? What emotions are you experiencing? So the first thing I want to say is you will notice that you're not alone, right? Just the words that are coming up again and again. That's the first thing I want to point out. We are all collectively experiencing these emotions. We are not alone. These emotions are valid, right? And so this particular practice is going to be very much around these emotions that we're experiencing. And I want to leave some time for Q&A. So we can start working with these emotions. And so we're all present here together, right? We're aligned and united by our love, maybe even reverence, if you're like me, for nature. For those of us who identify as environmentalists, what I hope this meditation does is, gives us courage and gives us energy to continue protecting all life on Earth. And there's some of you who might just want a moment of peace to kick off your day. And I hope this practice also provides that. So let's get started. You can be seated however you want, can be on a chair, can be cross-legged, can be doing whatever you like. But what I would like is for you to get comfortable. And so wiggle around, roll your shoulders back, move your hands, clench, unclench, get comfortable. And once you are in position, what you're going to do is visualize a string that's pulling your spine up, coming up from your head, the top of your head, right? You visualize the string. And so you're aligning every part of your body until you feel centered. And then once you do, you let the string go. You just relax. You settle into your body. Your body is your first home. So crucial, right? It carries everything we struggle with, our daily challenges, our concerns about our loved ones, our fears for ourselves, all of these emotions you described, right? The overwhelm, the anxiety, the panic around climate and environmental issues, all kinds of things, racial injustice, election politics. Our body is carrying all of that for us. And so let's start by taking a moment to express our gratitude to our body. It strives to provide everything we want, right? It's doing the best it can right now. And now that we're here and we feel a little softer, maybe, we're reminded of our vulnerability, right? I want us to start noticing the breath that is coming in. Our breath that is expanding our chest, contracting our diaphragms. Imagine how the oxygen is moving through our bloodstream and entering all the parts of our body. Moving in, moving out. All of that oxygen that keeps us alive comes from phytoplankton in the ocean, forests, plants, lakes, rivers. Imagine all the places near and far where the oxygen has come from to give you life in this very moment. The earth has conspired to create these conditions because she wants us to live, to be alive in the fullest sense of the word. And whether it is water you drink or the food you eat, the clothes and shoes you have on, right? The houses we're in, all of these things have been provided unconditionally by the planet. It's an offering, right? And a display of the earth's compassion for all of us. And so we're going to take a moment and relax and just allow ourselves to accept that, right? We're mindfully accepting this from the planet right now. If the earth wants us to live, it means we are part of the earth. It means we, the human species, belongs here, right? We belong as part of nature. And so as you imagine what the earth is offering you, think about how you're breathing in the earth's compassion, right? And as you exhale, you can exhale out that softness and the tenderness, maybe gratitude as an offering back. We are part of nature. We belong here. Just as much as all other species do, right? Because the earth provides this support and compassion to all species unconditionally. And so drop your favorite species in your mind so it can be any species that you love, right? How incredible is it, that diversity? Orcas and wild elephants and wild rice and algae, turtles, beetles. All that diversity is cultivated and nourished by the planet. Some of us inhale oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide, and some of us do the reverse. But we are all the same. We receive life as we inhale, and we offer life as we exhale. And whether we mean to or not, all of us are transferring energy and nutrients to one another. We're born, we live, we die, we transfer energy, right? We become nutrients for other species. We participate effortlessly as part of this vast ecosystem. And this can feel hard. It's hard for us to open up our hearts to our own species, especially if we're environmentalists. And so whatever emotions arise, I want you to breathe from that softness, right? From that space of gratitude. And whatever emotions arise, they are valid. You're having a natural empathic response, right? Because you are in this place of tenderness and interdependence with the earth. It's really important that we validate the emotions without getting attached to them. And so, we have to remind ourselves why these emotions are coming up in the first place. Because there are existential threats that we're facing, that the planet is facing, that all life is facing. So our emotions are valid. Our emotions are trying to protect us. Our emotions are trying to warn us, right? So we're going to take a moment, take however long you need. We're going to acknowledge and honor these emotions. So the trick is to observe the emotions without letting them carry you away, right? It's almost like if you need the visualization, it's like you're a rock, and the ocean of emotion is in front of you, right? You can see all the emotions that emerge for you constantly, but you don't have to move with the waves, right? So we're taking a moment, we're observing all our emotions as they rise, we're treating them with respect, we're honoring them, and we let them go. So let's take a couple of minutes here. And now, as you're visualizing these waves of emotions coming, right? And I've asked you to think of yourself as a rock that's steady. It's also worth asking, what is in the rock, right? No matter how these emotions come and, blow over us and buffet us and move us, what is the rock? That determination, right? The courage, the contrariness, right? Our obstinacy to keep fighting, to keep protecting, to keep loving, right? We are surrounded by intimate relationships. Our parents that give us life from the get-go, right? The communities that sustain us, the larger families that take care of us. We have children, we have friends that give us joy and purpose. All of these are intimate relationships. And then the earth, our relationship with the earth that sustains us and keeps us alive. These are all interdependent relationships. We could not be who we are without them, right? We would not be alive, we would not thrive, we would not find laughter, we would not find joy without these relationships. And they are all dimensions of resilience, raw force of resilience. The will to live, to thrive, ability to overcome obstacles, to heal, to take action. This is the rock. When we visualize all of these intimate relationships that are built around us, right? This entire web that is taking care of us. What emotions arise then? And so when you imagine the earth as giving us all this compassion, what emotion do we offer back? You can drop it in chat if you feel like, is it gratitude? Is it joy? Humor? Tenderness? So let's do one more inhale and exhale, right? Let's inhale the compassion that the earth has given us unconditionally, and this emotion that arises in you as a response. So we breathe in compassion, and we breathe out resilience. When you're ready, we can reverse the flow. We can breathe out compassion, and we can breathe in gratitude from the earth. Reverence, love, admiration, tender care, right? And with each breath, you can set the intention to settle Each time these emotions arise, you can settle into the rock, right? Into that determination to heal the earth, to protect all richness of life on the planet. You are part of nature's design. You are part of nature. You are always inherently, unchangeably interdependent with the earth. So now you know this feeling, right? You've experienced this moment. What I ask is, as you emerge from this practice, is that you make a commitment to remind yourself of how this feels throughout your day. You know, when things get really difficult, when we see the news, when we are paying attention to just the amount of natural disasters that are happening, right? Or we're thinking about species, or we're thinking about family, or I don't know, election politics, all kinds of things, right? Take a moment, just remind yourself what this feels like and allow yourself to experience this interdependence as you need, when you need. I hope this practice helps you, and through you, I hope it heals the earth. Thank you.